Those does are not looking at me. I'm pretty sure there's a buck off my left shoulder right now. I've been hearing him grunt all afternoon. I don't see him yet, but he's gotta be right to my left. Oh, there he is.
Deep in the heart of Wilcox County, where the wiregrass stops and the Black Belt begins, there's a little town called Pine Apple. Not pineapple, but Pine Space Apple. Pineapple isn't home to much. In fact, if you want to find a grocery store, that means packing up for a 35-minute car ride to Greenville. But what Pine Apple lacks for in amenities, it makes up for in white-tailed deer. Life stays busy, and I only had a handful of possible weekends I could hunt this season, so we loaded up the truck and tried to capitalize. The last possible week I could try and tag a buck just so happened to be the coldest weekend of the year.
Extreme cold warning.
Temperatures are currently in the teens and 20s.
But right now, we're still cold.
But a bitter, cold northwest wind holding steady at 15 and gusting at 25 was actually just what we wanted. You see, these southern whitetail are not sustained for the bitter cold, so they have to get on their feet to feed and stay warm. And with the rut in full swing, we have the makings of a perfect storm. We're betting on a big, mature buck moving late this morning or early this afternoon once things begin to thaw. So grab a coffee, your last hand warmers, and bundle up. Let's see if we can end the season with a bang.
How's it going, y'all? It's Garrett with Gulf Coast Angling. It's about 3:15. Sun is shining bright. I've got my shades on. We're overlooking a green field. I got the camera, the big camera going. We are ready to bag a buck on camera. This is about the easiest sit that I'm gonna have. The rut is heating up, so we should be seeing bucks today. It's a matter of staying quiet, staying still, and getting a little lucky. So, I've got my Bible with us. We are going to get in the Word while we wait. Better than scrolling TikTok, I'd say. Y'all come along for the ride. Hopefully we'll have a big one down here soon.
This first hunt was before the cold front truly moved in. I wrapped up work and drove up late Friday afternoon to get this afternoon's sit-in. We have a Reveal cellular game camera on this field, and we were seeing a multitude of bucks at this location. So I really wanted to scope it out and get a vibe of things. We had deer on the field relatively quick. I think they knew that this cold front was moving through, and they wanted to feed up as much as possible before they hunkered down for the long cold. This time of year, where there are does, bucks are bound to follow, and it was only a matter of time before our first buck showed up, a young 8-point.
Y'all, it is still pretty early, and we already have our first buck. I knew as soon as I saw him, he came out at the far end of the field, that he was young and immature, and we've seen him on camera a couple times, so we're just going to watch him, see what he does. Hopefully a more mature buck comes out too. He didn't really stick around that long. He walked to the sun, kind of fed a little bit, then headed back in. I guess he was just checking the plot, seeing if there were any hot does.
The remaining does on the field started acting a little skittish. I had heard some snort wheezing off my right shoulder earlier in the hunt and knew there was a bigger buck working that area. Fortunately, one of the does got a little too close to the woodline and she pulled out a more mature buck. Initially, I thought this deer was going to be a shooter, but I got a closer look at him. He came back out onto the green field later, and I figured out he was definitely a younger deer, a little bit more immature, and I let him walk.
This guy came out all big and bad, harassing a doe, and I thought he was a shooter deer. I mean, technically, he is a shooter buck, but he's young. You can see it in his face. He's not super wide, not super heavy. I figured we'd see a more mature buck after that smaller deer. I I just wish it was a little bit bigger than this guy. It's fun either way.
Although no big buck showed up, we were able to use this afternoon hunt to gather some valuable intel on the deer behavior and what to expect tomorrow when the cold front moves through. So we hunkered down for the night and got ready for the morning sit, which was in a new area.
Guys, you can't tell in the camera. It's actually blurry a little bit. Barely see. But it is snowing just ever so slightly.
I'm not sure how well you could hear the audio on that last clip, but I was exclaiming that it was snowing. This was a brutally cold hunt. The wind chill factor had the real feel around 3 degrees Fahrenheit. I figured the deer wouldn't move in this wind, but I wanted to sit it out for the long haul, and at about 9 a.m., this little spike came through. Otherwise, this was a rather cold and uneventful hunt, but we stuck it out absolutely as long as we could before heading back to the cabin. In that downtime, I decided to go on a run as part of my 75 hard challenge, which was the worst decision of my life. And we quickly got back in the woods for the afternoon hunt. During the rut, you really have to capitalize staying in the woods, so we minimized our idle time to the least extent possible.
Here, bugs are chasing does, deer are active. Back home, it actually snowed. Didn't really accumulate, had a light dusting on the ground. Back home in Florida, Florida is snowed. The front came through here, but the back end of the front was snow. That storm front had the deer kind of locked up. As I was saying, the cold and the wind from this morning, from that front moving through, had no deer movement going on. It was a very miserable morning hunt, but I think that only means that this afternoon hunt is going to be killer. And it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we already have our first deer out on the field, this little spike. So while he's not much to look at, I'm really hopeful of things to come. Lots of bait, y'all. This is exactly what we want right now. These does. There's been wind, bad weather, and they're on edge. That's the matriarch right there. She's the head honcho. We have a lot of big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 does on the field right now. That's exactly what we need at a time like this. Y'all, those does are not looking at me. I'm pretty sure there's a buck off my left shoulder right now. I've been hearing him grunt all afternoon. I don't see him yet, but he's gotta be right to my left. Oh, there he is. Y'all, we got the job done. I heard that buck grunting all afternoon. I tried to send him a couple grunts, and finally those does, I thought they were looking at me, and I was like, they haven't been onto me this entire hunt. So I look, and I said, look right off my left shoulder, and he's standing right there. I didn't let him get too far. This is my last opportunity to bag a deer, and I'm just thankful that God allowed for us to take a beautiful buck. Looks like an 8-point. We'll get hands on him in here in just a second. Let's go check him out. very, very thankful for this deer. It's 2026. I think the last buck I shot was in about 2017. So it's been nearly 10 freaking years since I've killed a mature buck. This was my last opportunity to do so. And we got the job done. Let's get them loaded.
I am incredibly thankful for this opportunity to fill the freezer and share this experience with all of you. I respect all wildlife, but the act of harvesting a whitetail definitely evokes a little more awe and humility, and I'm blessed to be able to capture this moment on camera to share with you. While I am a fishing channel first and foremost, I hope you enjoyed this little detour. If you did, consider sticking around and subscribing. During the winter times, we enjoy these little detours to deer hunting and duck hunting. And as always, thanks for watching.
Let's go.